My name's Gordon Mueller, and I've known Don and Teresa Sharon over 50 years. They're part of the St. Hedwig's Church and also live in our same tract. And we knew early on that they really had an affinity to, were like in crisis pregnancy, that didn't have anywhere to go. So they started housing women in their own home. And that was only really about 3-4 blocks from us. And somehow we got involved with them by knowing them, got involved with this idea they had to get a shelter going. It needed support and help, and that we were happy to do that for them. My early involvement really was with more the thrift store, which we really was very good, because that's really what helped provide some funds. And so I was really there for quite a while initially, and certainly when I retired in '96, I spent the next 4 years just working there in the thrift store and just working around and everything else. So I was also on the board of directors at the beginning, and we were involved with all the different things that they've done, which is having the annual get-togethers, and so with that, we've been involved for the 30 years that they've been in existence, you might say. And Don and Teresa were just fantastic in having this idea and pushing it forward. Most people wouldn't probably do that because, we all have ideas and everything else, but it takes a lot of courage to move ahead with an idea that you have, particularly one that's a little risky and so on. So they did a wonderful job and put it all together, and Don and Teresa were just fantastic, and so we've enjoyed them all these years, and Teresa is still involved very much in the pro-life movement, and so we talk to her a lot about that. We see her at Mass every day, so she is still wonderful and really very, very outspoken in her views. It couldn't have been a better mixture. I don't think anybody else, at least that I've known in this area, and that could have done what they did with the Precious Life Shelter and seen it grow as it has over the last 30 years. Don and Teresa had this master plan of what they really thought the shelter should look like. And I really wasn't, I guess, as privy to that, but I really didn't. We sort of took it step by step, but they had this master plan, and it's worked out even better, I think, than probably what they planned. We didn't, or I didn't certainly understand the plan as much as they did initially, or maybe I didn't really believe that this was going to happen, but it's worked out much better than I think even they would have envisioned back in the early days there. If they can possibly get even more property, they've just recently had this property built, this 4-unit apartment house for women when they come out of the shelter, that they're able to have their own place with their child and actually pay a reasonable rent, which is very difficult in these days. So then, but I think if another property came involved close by, and they could possibly work that out where they could purchase that and that, they probably would continue to do that because there's probably no end to the need for the women coming out of the program that are going to need housing, and cheap, reasonable housing, I should say, and really good. So that's what I think is probably the future. People that have worked with us on it, the builders and everything else and so on and so forth, they contribute a lot of money and a lot of time to the building of these structures. So I'm assuming that would probably happen again. So who knows? Maybe we'll see another 4-unit apartment house going up. Teresa, I don't really know who was the driving force, whether it was Don or you, but I don't know, sort of knowing you, I think that you might have been the driving force behind all of this, because you're still driving some of us, I think, okay? You're still up there in the forefront, you're still working hard, even though you haven't been as intricately involved as you have been in the past, but still, your heart's there. I know your heart's always there, and I know if possible, you will continue to if your health and everything else doesn't give out, you'll be there for the next 5, 10, 15 years, who knows. And helping in support of all these women who are really in need of help, and a reasonable housing, and an environment that is safe. And it is certainly that. So thank you for your help, for your love of these women, and we love you, Teresa.